You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Hello, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva, and knowledge, your spiritual sister, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Hope all of y'all are doing well. Again, I really want to take the time to say how grateful I am and how much I appreciate each and every one of you. My channel has been growing tremendously. And I'm not all the way of where I need to be, but I'm definitely not where I used to be. So I definitely want to thank each and every one of y'all for that. Big ups to all of the other sisters that are also in the blogging field. Black Titanic, Caramel Rail, True Tea, What's Happening. It's so many of them out there. It's just too many to name. But I definitely want to thank each and every one of them as well. For inspiring me to be able to want to do this or whatever. So again, big ups to all of them. So if y'all have not heard already, I thought it was very imperative that I brought this to you ladies. Kevin Hunter is now looking for quicker ways to make cash, as his deposits are no longer available due to Wendy Williams no longer having her show. So if y'all have been in the clouds and you haven't been keeping up, remember that Wendy Williams was obligated via court order to pay Kevin Hunter, her now ex-husband, a certain amount of alimony monthly as long as she was doing the Wendy Williams show. So happened, Wendy Williams her health started declining, and in result of her health not doing well at the time, there was a lot of pictures of her circulating, being in the wheelchair, and we saw how she was deteriorating to the point that we almost thought she wasn't going to make it with us. But nevertheless, it gave her an out to no longer have to continue with the show. And because of that, she was no longer obligated to having to pay Kevin Hunter any more money. It's crazy how bad things have to happen to us sometimes in order for God to deliver us from certain situations. So had Wendy never gotten sick, had she kept, being in her best health, Kevin would have still been able to get those checks from the courts. But it took Wendy getting sick for her to be able to bow out gracefully from not having to do the show, which in turn meant Kevin Hunter was no longer able to get any more checks. Now, if you're not aware of the situation with Kevin Hunter, Wendy Williams' ex, was her manager, meaning he was her man and managing her career, her finances, and her show, all of that during the duration of their marriage. He took it upon himself to start dealing with, I think her name, Shamika Hudson, which was another woman outside of his marriage. He had been her simp sponsor, meaning he had been sponsoring her, pretty much another Martell Holt and Ariane air mattress situation. he had been sponsoring 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪, yeah, that's her name, 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, off of Wendy's money. He had brought 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪 a home down the street. He had bought her cars. He was basically being her simp sponsorer, sponsoring her materialistic lifestyle. And, you know, basically not having respect for his marriage, breaking that covenant, like I told you, ladies, before, breaking the covenant of God. Because anytime you're married, that means you are in covenant with the Lord. And God honors marriage, and he does not take it lightly on those who do not honor marriage, who do not think marriage should be honored. So nevertheless, y'all, Kevin Hunter, ever since then, his whole life has pretty much been derailing. He even tried to attempt to beg for Wendy to take him back, as if, like the Valley Girls would say, as if I would be comfortable. You know, what makes him think Wendy Williams would be comfortable taking him back, knowing how he tried to ruin her, knowing that when her health was declining, he was rubbing his hands together, thinking that if she was to pass and go on with the Lord, he would definitely have more access to everything. So, this is what these type of men do when they're so used to having control. No different than Martell Holt. They figure, all I got to do is snap my fingers. All I got to do is lie and manipulate like I've been doing, and she'll forgive me. She'll overlook what I've done, and I can get right back in her good graces. This is what happens, unfortunately, when you tolerate a lot of disrespect. And it's not so much, I would say this, it's not so much just tolerating disrespect. You have some women who really believe in the vows, and they respect it. They respect the for better or for worse. You thinking right now your marriage is just going through a phase. He's going through his selfish season. These things too shall come to pass. But if the selfish season is over 2, 3, 4, 5 years, then you pretty much know at this point he's going to stay stuck where he is. This isn't a temporary thing. He's going to keep having women. He's going to keep lying, be manipulative, disrespectful, taking money out of the household to supply other women, which is definitely a major violation to the marriage. So Kevin Hunter has been catching it. The courts denied him of being able to still get those alimony checks, the Wendy Williams checks. And, you know, he has done every manipulative tactic that has not worked out in his favor. He went so far as to tell the lawyer he was not able to afford to pay for his medication, how he's losing his home. You know, sitting up here crying about no longer being able to support himself. And this is a full-grown man, simply because Wendy Williams no longer had to give him any more of her money. He saw that didn't work. So now, apparently, word on the curve is Kevin Hunter has been pawning or selling his jewelry. And this is a start. Yes, you need to sell. Since you're not going to work, sell your sugar honey iced tea. Sell your jewelry. Sell your shoes. Sell whatever you can, because you know you don't want to work. And eventually you're still going to have to work, because I don't know how much stuff you're going to sell. And you're not going to get back what you initially invested in it. That's how it goes whenever you have to pawn or sell something. So nevertheless, the article goes as follows. Kevin Hunter is having a hard time financially. The former Wendy Williams show executive producer has seen his stock plummet after getting divorced from the show's leading lady. Hunter has been opening up about the hard times ahead for him following Williams leaving her show and putting an end to his alimony checks. Hunter's struggles have been so bad, he's even been forced to pawn his jewelry. As Wendy Williams' husband, ex-husband, executive producer, former manager, Kevin Hunter was racking in dough while his wife was hyper-focused on her career in media empire. Hunter got busy doing what he wanted off screen. This included a second life with his mistress, whom he eventually moved down the street from his and Wendy's home. Following the woman getting pregnant, Williams had a breakdown and promptly put Hunter out. While he was initially awarded some alimony and severance pay, the money dried up once his ex-wife's health issues made it impossible for her to return to work. While the money was coming in, Kevin was busy spending it. He started several businesses, including a restaurant and barbershop. He also purchased his new lady, 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, an engagement ring valued at $80,000. Hunter splurged on Williams a bit too before their split. While trying to downplay rumors of his cheating, he got his ex-wife a $40,000 watch. The diamond-encrusted Frank Muller was customized for Wendy. The jeweler claims that Hunter was a regular there and had been a customer for years. Kevin comes in and sees Eddie flawless for pretty much all of his jewelry needs. I don't know if he picked up anything else while he was at the shop, the source told Pop Culture. Back in 2019. Kevin loves things gold, and that same year he dropped a pretty penny on a gold Ferrari shortly after Williams announced their divorce. The vehicle was valued at over $215,000. Hunter also bought his new lady a luxury Rolls Royce. With alimony payments gone, Hunter has been forced to go to the extreme to make ends meet. This has included him trying to take Williams to court to earn back some of the money he has lost. He claims that his house is up for foreclosure and their son owes thousands in back rent on the Miami condo since his mom stops footing the bill. Their request was denied and Hunter has been told to get a job. Hunter is also having to hand over some of those large purchases now since he is no longer on the payroll. It's been reported that he pawned a large chunk of the luxury items to help care for himself and his new family. He was spotted driving his Rolls Royce SUV to shop in New York City, where he offloaded a bunch of high-value prices. Paparazzi caught pictures of Kevin in a pawn shop with a bag of expensive stuff. It is unclear how much money he got from any of it, but people inside said he was very animated while showing off his bling. Hope he was able to get enough money to help with his financial woes. So, as y'all can see, y'all, listen, I cannot stress this more than enough. These individuals that are not respecting God's covenant, nothing good is coming to them. And it's only a matter of time. I don't care how much they walk around town with these side chicks, parading it, acting like they're living their best life. No stone shall be left unturned. God is going to deal with you accordingly, regardless of what. And what is going on is basically Kevin Hunter has totally derailed since his divorce from Wendy. As I stated several times throughout the majority of my content, the men who commit adultery destroy themselves. Now, I have some scriptures for this. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 32. The one who commits adultery with the woman is lacking sense. He who would destroys himself does it. Still the same chapter, same verse, Proverbs. But the man who commits adultery is an utter fool, for he destroys himself. Same verse, same chapter, but King James Version. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth destroyeth his own soul. Proverbs, we're still in Proverbs, chapter 6, verse 32. A man who takes part in adultery has no sense. He will destroy himself. I broke this down in 3 different ways. I basically said the same scripture, but I broke it down in 3 different ways. That way you could understand it from a King James Version or a New International Version, American Standard Version. It's very clear and simple. These men, and we're seeing it right before our eyes, that have broken the covenant of God, who have embarrassed their wives, not respected their vows, not respected the holy matrimony, have defiled their beds, were men who was already lacking common sense. Kevin Hunter was already a foolish man. The reason he was lacking common sense, because if you knew you was going to step out on your wife, least you could have did was been smart and start establishing businesses for yourself, getting separate things in your name. Start, getting homes that was affordable that you could pay off. That way you're not forced to having a pawn jury, upon anything else for that matter, to continue to keep financing a lifestyle you obviously can't afford. Not only he disrespected his marriage, he also had the audacity to have a child from another woman. All of this is the reason why Kevin Hunter, like Martell, is continuously failing. And what they don't realize is when they bring a curse upon themselves, they also bring a curse upon the women that chose to be involved with them, and they bring a curse towards the children that are produced from the situation. For all of y'all who have a problem, when I talk about Little Helmet, just to kind of switch gears a little bit, when I talk about Martell and Arion Air Mattress son, let's see what the word says about these illegitimate children, since y'all have so much empathy for the children. Deuteronomy chapter 23, 2nd verse. No one of illegitimate birth shall enter the assembly of the Lord, none of his descendants, even to the 10th generation, shall enter the assembly of the Lord. Do y'all not understand? When you produce a child outside of your marriage, you've brought a curse on that child before that child even has any real understanding about life and her purpose in this world. You've already cursed them. The Bible says that. So while y'all want to go around here and show empathy and sympathy, that's wrong. How dare you say Little Helmet? How dare, these children did not ask to be here. How dare we disrespect babies? They are innocent. Guess what? The Lord, evidently, even he don't have no sympathy, because it's clearly stated that even when the illegitimate child has children of their own, when an illegitimate child has a child who has children, that whole bloodline behind that illegitimate bastard child is going to continue to suffer, because his mother and his father started the brokenness of the covenant. It started from Kevin Hunter and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 Hudson. That little girl is not exempt to the rule no more than Martell and Arion's son, Little Helmet. So while y'all want to come for me on what I have to say about the child, make sure you come for God, because he gonna get you right together. Even he ain't sitting up here praising and acknowledging no illegitimate child that was born out of the will of God, outside of his covenant. The child becomes a part of the curse. It is what it is. Get mad. That's what the Bible says. So if you around here got children from a married man, you done curse your child. The word ain't gonna change for you. You're no exception to the rule. Proverbs chapter 6 verse 27. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? What makes these men have the audacity to think that they can commit adultery, have sex in their marriage, outside of their marriage, with their harlots, concubines, whatever you want to call them, and think that they're not going to burn themselves in the process of it? Listen, a lot of men who we don't know of that are not as famous can tell you they have lost a lot of valuable things fornicating and committing adultery outside of their marriage. There's been some married men who not only lost their marriages, which was first and foremost the most valuable thing, they lost their home, they lost their assets, they lost money, having to still support the wife they cheated on through alimony and still having to support the side chick who produced the child from them. They have lost their peace of mind because, like Kevin Hunter, he's lost his peace of mind because he does not know how he's going to survive, how he's going to make it, how he's going to manage without getting those Wendy Williams checks anymore. He's around here lost in the sauce, and not only that, he knows he's with a woman that is just as greedy as he is. He knows it's a probability 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 may go ghost on him if he cannot continue to keep supplying her lifestyle. But her curse may be she may want to leave Kevin Hudson, but she may not be able to leave him because the little bit he is getting, she can't even get that if she were to leave him. So they probably cursed themselves, in which neither one of them could probably really go anywhere at this point. He might want out because he knows he's not going to be able to supply her with the lifestyle that he made her believe he would always be able to supply. And she may surely want to leave him because the relationship is not the same without that change. Listen, even Airhead, with her gullible self, even she admitted she liked Martell better when he was with Mel because he was getting them Melanie checks. She don't like this broke Martell. She don't like this lacking in finances version of Martell. Because he's probably, listen, men that are broke, when a man doesn't have money, his whole personality changes. Men who start transitioning into the struggle, especially when they're used to having it like that, when they're used to getting what they want, they are very difficult to deal with. A broke man, a man that's in the struggle, is very difficult to deal with. He has an attitude. He lashes out. Ain't no telling what Ariane is really going through other than the fact that he can't take her to those 5-star restaurants like he used to. She got to deal with his attitude every time she asks him for something. Martell, well, I need this, I need that, I need that. When he was Mel, okay, no problem, I got you. I'll put it in the bank tomorrow. No problem. I got you. I'm going to send it to you today. I'm going to drop by today. That's how it was when he was with Melanie. Now he ain't with Melanie. His whole tune done changed. If she asks for something now, you know I don't have it right now. You know I'm struggling right now. I'm trying to find a way. I'm trying to figure out a way. I'm trying to make things happen to try to get blase, blase, blah. The whole song has changed. And this frustrates him because he never prepared himself to be able to have a plan B in the event Mel stopped them checks. Same thing with Kevin Hunter. Kevin Hunter running around here like a damn savage bird, lost in the sauce, because he just never thought the day would come he would have to pawn his damn jewelry. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 14. They are addicted to adultery with eyes that are insatiable, with sins that never end. They seduce the vulnerable and are experts in their greed. They are but children of a curse. And that is what Kevin Hunter and Martell Holt, both of them, they found women that were vulnerable. And because both are experts in being greedy, they was able to lure these type of women into their lives, not understanding that once they conceived children, they created a curse. They cursed their children. Plain and simple. So you have Kevin Hunter, who apparently it is suffering with the reality that I have to hustle and bustle for everything I want now. Because he had no compassion for Wendy. Life is not having no compassion for him. That's how it goes, ladies and gentlemen. You reap what you sow. Luke chapter 18, verse 20. You know the commandments. Do not commit adultery. Do not murder. Do not steal. Do not bear false witness. Honor your father and mother. It's a simple scripture. Do not commit adultery. But it's a very serious. It's a very serious scripture. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 26. For an account of a harlot, one is reduced to a loaf of bread. For an adulteress hunts for the precious life. This is what 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 and Arion Air Mattress. This is the chance a married man takes when he decides to fornicate and step outside of his marriage. These type of women put them in a position in which they are going to constantly seek for them to supply their needs. That's why to this day, Arion Air Mattress refuses to get a job. From my understanding, doesn't seem like 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, well, she tried, like Arion, to get businesses. She tried to start her own vegan pancake mix. Everything 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 has tried has been an epic fail. Just like Arion, who tried to capitalize, knowing she's part of the curse because she participated with Martell and breaking that covenant. 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, no exception to the rule, she decided to participate in committing adultery with Kevin Hunter and breaking their marital covenant, their union. And now she has to depend on him. Because God don't bless no mess. You think you can mess around and fornicate with a married man and you think God is going to bless you? Now here in Proverbs chapter 6, 26, it further says, for a prostitute will bring you to poverty. Now, let's keep it real. Do y'all not know a side chick is a prostitute? Do y'all not know that a side chick is a prostitute? If y'all think about it, they both have the same motives. When you think of a prostitute, you automatically think of a woman walking the stroll with no drawers on and high heels, approaching car to car to car, tapping on windows. Look, daddy, I can show you a good time. $20, $20. That's not the only form of a prostitute. If you think about it, side chicks are another form of prostitution, because a prostitute is looking for a man that can supply her with finances. The prostitute don't care if the man is married, not married. Her ultimate motive is to find a man that's weak enough, gullible enough, that's going to pay her for her servicing him. No different than a side chick. Side chicks have the same purpose of a prostitute. They're looking for men that are going to provide and supply. The only difference between a prostitute and a side chick, the prostitute just wants the money. She's not looking for a relationship or marriage. The side chick, on the other hand, the Arion air mattresses and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 Hudson's, they were actually looking for a relationship, a marriage, so that way they can be taken care of for a lifetime. The only difference between the two is the prostitute wants her finances for one night and the side chick wants her finances for a lifetime. But they both serve the same purpose. They both put men in poverty. But the difference of the prostitute, like I said, it's a quick transaction. Unlike the side chick, that's longevity. But the truth of the matter is, a side chick is a prostitute. She's not his wife. She's not his girlfriend. She's a prostitute. If he's putting money in her hand, he's paying her bills, he bought her car, paying for her apartment rent, she's a prostitute. Same thing. For a prostitute will bring you to poverty. That's why Kevin Hudson is broke right now. We're not going to dress it up, his side chick. No, his prostitute brought him to poverty. No, she's not walking the stroll and letting multiple men smash her and in the back of their Lincoln Tahoe, whatever. But she still is serving the same purpose as the prostitute. She's using this man for money. And when a man lacks discipline, notice I didn't say discipline. Discipline, meaning he does not have discipline with his dick. He will stick it and put it anywhere. He will eventually end up in poverty. Only difference is that Martell and Kevin Hunter, they've been dealing with these women for a long, extensive amount of time. And honestly, that puts you in poverty even quicker. Unlike dealing with the prostitute in the street. Listen, what Arion air mattress and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 Hudson are, we not going to dress it up and call them side chicks. We going in 2023. I'm tired of us using that. And it's become so broad. That's what the reason why a lot of side chicks, it don't really bother them, because side chicks is a nice way of just saying I'm a chick on the side. No, y'all are full-time prostitutes. I'm going to come up with something a little bit better, but y'all are not side chicks. Y'all are full-time prostitutes. That's what y'all are. Only difference between y'all and the prostitute in the street. Prostitute in the street takes her money after that transaction and She doesn't want nothing else out of him. She doesn't want to disgrace his wife. She doesn't want to ruin his life. She doesn't want to have his children. Prostitutes in the street, they don't want to do all of that. Well, I know what we'll do. We'll call you the committed prostitutes. Because you're committed to prostituting yourself for a lifetime to keep getting these men to finance for you, to finance for your lifestyle, for your bills. 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 Air Mattress are committed prostitutes. For a prostitute will bring you to poverty. This is why these men are struggling. They're not making the money they used to make. Because once you put yourself in these type of situations, you lose your support. They lost their wives who had the money, who was making the income that they were able to benefit from. So now he's in poverty. No different if a married woman, if her husband found her messing around with some pookie in the street and he would have divorced her and put out his house, take away cars and stuff from her, she's in poverty now. Adultery will put you in poverty. And that is what happened. The adulteress will endanger your life. They will ruin you. They will break you down to the lowest common denominator. Excuse me, y'all. All these crazy ads coming in. I'm trying to read these scriptures. For a prostitute can be had for a loaf of bread, meaning it don't take much to get these type of women. All you got to do is have the 3 D's: dick, dinner, and a dollar. Long as you're taking her out to eat at the fine dine restaurants and you give her some dick and you give her some dollars, she can be caught, she can be had. These men are walking around here like they got a prize when really you don't have a prize, you have a peasant. Well, that was the only thing Martell was right about. You have a peasant. It didn't take much to get these type of women, because these type of females, they don't value themselves. They don't have any real dignity. They can easily get got with the 3 D's: dick, dinner, and a dollar. For a prostitute can be had for a loaf of bread, but another man's wife preys on your very life. Now, we know these women aren't wives, but at the end of the day, they don't belong to them. And what these women do is they prey on them. Martell has to keep supplying 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 Air Mattress with the 3 D's: the dick, the dinner, and the dollar, so she don't push for child support. And honestly, I'm sure a part of him, he's tired of sleeping with 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. I'm sure he don't even get any more joy or pleasure out of sleeping with 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪, because he done lost so much. It's not fun anymore. It's not exciting anymore. Now, Proverbs chapter 6 verse 29. So is he who sleeps with another man's wife. No one who touches her will go unpunished. So God honors marriage, right? So you know that also applies to sleeping with another woman's husband. So let's throw that in the equation. So is she who sleeps with another woman's husband, no one who touches her will go unpunished. So any man who deals with 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, he's going to be cursed too. Do y'all realize how this works? Once you start that curse, it never ends. It's permanent. Any man that tries to go near 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 Air Mattress or 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, because she's already tainted herself by participating in breaking God's covenant with somebody else's husband. Why you think she can't get nobody else? She's still holding on, waiting on 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 to give in. And he won't. Proverbs chapter 6 verse 31. Yet if he is caught, he must pay sevenfold, though it costs him all the wealth of his house. This is why these men are out here struggling. Listen, that adultery ain't nothing to play with, honey. Y'all gonna learn. Y'all gonna learn today. The word not gonna change. I don't care if you're a man and people around here, you got other men stroking your ego. Man, get all you can get. Lay all the women you can lay with. It's going to cost you. 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. It costed him the wealth of his house. Costed him his marriage. Costed him his reputation. And I'm going to repeat the scripture till it cements in y'all mind. Proverbs chapter 6 verse 32. But a man who commits adultery has no sense. He destroys himself. I'm going to run that in the ground. Because as y'all can see, they are destroying themselves. Every time you turn around, you don't really hear anything good about them. You don't hear them getting new businesses. You don't hear about them, getting blessed with better opportunities. Everything 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 has tried, down to a magazine cover, has been an epic fail. His wine has been an epic fail. That comes with the curse of the adultery. 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼, God is going to make an example out of these men that are cheating and messing around and disrespecting their wives. He wants the world to see there's no glory that's going to come out of it. Proverbs chapter 6:33. Blows and disgrace are his lot, and his shame will never be wiped away. Let me tell y'all something. And I'll admit it because I said it myself too. A lot of people said 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 is not ashamed. A lot of people say 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 is not ashamed. A lot of people think that 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪, they are not ashamed of their actions. And I will be the first here to tell you, yes, they are. Yes, they are. Because let me tell you something. God designed us to have emotions. I don't care if you're a criminal. I don't care if you're a rapist. He designed us with a conscience. Now, you have men like them. They have just become experts at hiding it. But if you really read in between the lines, even 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 has admitted his shame. He doesn't admit it as much as he does destroying Melanie. We've seen him do so much messed up stuff that we done forgot the 1 or 2 times he did admit his embarrassment and his shame. Let me tell y'all something. 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 is embarrassed by his actions. Just because he's not walking around in 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪, just because I'm saying 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪. Just because they're walking around here strutting themselves, still flexing their muscles, trying to act hard, and all this carrying on, it does not mean that they are not ashamed. And they are ashamed because the Bible tells you, God knows his children. He's telling you his shame will never be wiped away. If 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼's shame, this is a simple thing. If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he didn't have any shame, why he won't marry every arm? If he He's not proud of that. I don't believe for a second, even behind all his ego and all of the stuff he does to Mel to try to destroy her, I still don't believe that Martell is not ashamed. He's ashamed. But you can't tell because he uses his ego so well to hide it. That man ain't proud that he got that woman pregnant like that. I don't care how much he smiled and walk. Listen, people on their worst day. How many of y'all, listen, how many of y'all had a bad day and still had to go to work? Well, you went to work after having an argument with your husband, or an argument with your son or your daughter, or an argument with somebody in traffic because they took your damn parking space. You still had to go to work and smile, right? You still had to put your game face on because you knew once you got to that job, if you brought that attitude or that energy with you, you would get fired. Same thing. Everybody don't have to look like they suffering just to prove that they suffering. Martell is suffering. Kevin, Hunter, these men are suffering. Do I give a damn? No, I don't. But I just don't want you women to be walking around here fooled because you have an ex-husband out there who wronged you, or a baby daddy, whoever, who wronged you, and he flexing his muscles like he ain't did nothing wrong. First of all, men are built differently emotionally from us. They don't process their emotions like we do. They're not going to walk around here crying, I lost my wife. I lost my life. Now I'm going to have to become a manager at McDonald's. They don't do like that. Men, they deal with their emotions different by being jerks, by being egotistical, by doing petty things to you to ruin you. It's not right, but men and women, we process our emotions different. They're not going to go around here crying on your lap, begging. Well, except Martell, because Martell been begging for Melanie back so many times, and she just is like a broken record. The Bible tells you, I don't need nobody to show me if they feel ashamed or not. The Bible tells you, it says here, because God designed his children. He designed us to have a conscience. Blows and disgrace are his lot. They are in disgrace. They are feeling disgraced. And their shame will never be wiped away. If Martell is so proud, he's not walking around here holding Ariana Air Mattress' hand. He ain't holding it. And the pictures that got out of him and her together, Ariana put that out. He didn't. He was never proud of her like that. He enjoyed using her, but he was never proud of her like that. Same thing with Kevin Hunter. Now, even though we've seen Kevin Hunter walk around with his chest poke out, holding 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼's Hudson's hands, that was his way of masking his shame or embarrassment. Everybody deal with embarrassment and shame differently. You have some people like Martell that still deal with it in secret, even though we know it's out there. You know, he's not around here posting pictures of him and Ariana out eating with little helmet. He's not posting vacation pictures. He's not proud of his situation. I don't care what his ego say. His actions of not committing to Ariana shows that he's not proud of his actions. The only difference, Kevin Hunter, I keep calling him Hudson. Kevin Hunter, he's trying to mask and conceal and act like he's not embarrassed by parading 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 Hudson around and holding hands with her and going on vacation pics. But just because that's what he's doing, it does not mean that underneath he's not feeling embarrassed. He got to keep that front. He got to make it seem like, you know, he's not hurting behind it. But His actions are clearly showing he is, because he went begging for Wendy Williams. My thing is too, I notice ironically, even though these are two totally different men, two totally different situations, none of them won't marry these women that they've been home with. The wives are gone now. Now I understand with Kevin Hunter, at the time when he was still getting checks from Wendy, he didn't marry 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 because he knew once he married 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 that those checks will stop. Because once you marry, you no longer get alimony. But my thing is, he's not getting alimony now. Marry your committed prostitute. Marry her. And we already know Martell don't want Ariana air mattress. He just don't want her. He tired of her at this point. He's over it. It's definitely no excitement at all at this point, because it's all out in the open. And he's lost so much behind it, and the world has witnessed him losing so much behind it. So this is just the beginning. It's very unfortunate that both of these men were with women that are highly successful. Women who treasured them. Wendy Williams treasured her husband. She always bragged on him. Always gave him credit he really didn't deserve, because she loved him just that much. And a lot of married women, we get beat down, unfortunately, when these men have a way of disgracing us in the end. She was up there bragging on her husband, acting like he was so great, acting like he was so wonderful. When you're married, you're supposed to be able to show that gratitude of how much your significant other means to you. Now, I do get it. Some women are just overboard. My husband is so wonderful. He's so great. He never makes any mistakes. He don't even look at other women. I don't like women who overly pedestalize their husbands. Some women are way too extra now. I don't like women who do that either, because at the end of the day, you never know how these men going to embarrass you or do something to make you look stupid. So you got to be careful, especially putting down other women because you're married. I have an issue with that as well. I don't like women who do that. But these were women who really honored their vows. That's why they honored their husbands. And these men became so beside themselves that they just knew for sure, no matter what they would do, their wives were going to stand by them, only to get a rude awakening. Even a dog is not going to let you mistreat them. I own a mixed pit bull. If I'm kicking my dog literally with my foot and hurting him, eventually, he's going to leave. As soon as I leave that gate open, he's going to find a way to leave and not come back. Or he's going to hide underneath the house. He's going to do whatever he can to stay away from me, because he can no longer deal with me harming him. So that's the same way it is when you're dealing with human beings. I don't care how much you love somebody, you're only built to take but so much abuse. And it comes a point to where you have to do something, because it's killing you. You're dying spiritually. You're dying mentally. You're dying financially, because this man is taking money out your household to supply his lust. It's a lot. It's a lot of damage, heartaches that comes with dealing with these type of men who have no remorse, have no empathy or sympathy for the pain that they're taking you through. And what tends to happen, they get more and more comfortable, more and more out of hand. And next thing you notice, now there's children involved. Now there's a curse that has been manifested. And once that curse has been manifested, now your marriage has been abrupted. And once that abruption takes place, it tends to taint. It tends to taint the covenant. These men not only disgrace their wives, but they have the audacity, you know, to allow these women to disrespect their wives. We know Air Mattress has said several disrespectful things about Mel. And everything she said about Mel now is reflecting on her. Mel is stupid. Well, right now you've been looking stupid for a very long time. Talking about male edges and all. Look like you barely got edges yourself. She has done everything to disgrace Mel, and Martell sat right there and allowed it to happen. And that's the reason why neither one of them will ever prosper or get anywhere. Kevin Hunter's wife, might as well say wife. Well, no, not wife, because they're not married. Kevin's lifelong committed prostitute. She has not been as vocal as Ariane, but she has had her share of saying things that she shouldn't have been saying either. Like when Wendy stopped depositing those checks, she had the audacity to say, Wendy's not understanding that it's Lil Kevin, which is her and Kevin son Kevin Hunter Jr., saying that Kevin Hunter Jr.'s sister, which is the illegitimate child Kevin Hunter Sr. and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 had together, was saying that his sister is getting affected by Wendy no longer sponsoring Kevin Hunter. I'm like, now that's some far-reaching, honey. You had to say that Wendy's son's little sister is getting impacted by Wendy no longer supplying those checks. Are you freaking serious? The audacity. The audacity. Like that was supposed to make Wendy change her mind. Oh, well, yeah, that is my son's little sister, and the children don't need to suffer. Hell no. And Wendy showed them better than she could tell them. And I commend her for that. Because a lot of people thought Wendy was going to be weak and set up there. And I believe to this day, Wendy probably played the game. She probably wasn't as bad off as she looked. But what she did was she capitalized off of that. Or somebody helped her to capitalize off of that. Now that you're sick, you might as well continue playing this role all the way out. Because you can get out of this alimony due to the fact that you are not doing well. Use this to your advantage. And I really believe, because since then Wendy has not been that severely down once that alimony stopped. Or it very well could have been, and that was just God's way of releasing her. So I'm just, allegedly thinking that she probably just played the role and used it to her advantage. And that's the thing. A lot of times as wives, when you've been married to these corrupt men for so long, you learn how to play their own game. That's what Mel did. She learned how to beat Martell at his own game. Wendy learned to beat Kevin at his own game. You learn from the best. In the words of Whitney Houston, you learn from the best. You learn how to burn those basically because of how they done burned you. And that's what it boils down to. So yes, y'all, Mr. Hunter is pawning his jury. He's still gonna have to do something else because all of those assets that he has and material things, I don't know how far he thinks he's going to get with those. In conclusion, y'all, so I can get ready to wrap this up. I was supposed to start this video. It was supposed to premiere at 7. Looked like it's going to be 7:30. So my apologies if I'm a little late. But I wanted to end it with this scripture here because I think this scripture really speaks volumes. Proverbs chapter 6 verses 24 through 35. They'll protect you from promiscuous women, from the seductive talk of some temptress, meaning wisdom. Don't lustfully fantasize on her beauty, nor be taken in by her bedroom eyes. You can buy an hour with a prostitute for a loaf of bread, but a promiscuous woman may well eat you alive. Can you build a fire in your lap and not burn your pants? Can you walk barefoot on hot coals and not get blisters? It's the same when you have sex with your neighbor's wife. Touch her and you'll pay for it. No excuses. Hunger is no excuse for a thief to steal. When he's caught, he has to pay it back, even if he has to put his whole house in hock. Adultery is a brainless act, soul destroying, self-destructive. Expect a bloody nose, a black eye, and a ruined reputation for good. So, on that note, y'all, it's been a blessing. Hopefully somebody has received this message. And, I'm going to be hitting this hard for a while. I am so set against adultery and those who do not respect their vows, those who do not honor marriage, those who do not mind, who lack wisdom and risking betraying God's covenant only to find out, to discover the hardships that lie ahead, the dark side that they're going to keep encountering behind their immoral actions. So anyway, y'all, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what you think of today's content. Those who are willing to donate, I don't care if it's $1, $2, definitely appreciate it. $ DYOMDGYRL is in the lower corner on the thumbnail, or you can PayPal me as well. I'll also leave that to the bottom. So anyway, ladies, it's been a blessing. Y'all take care. I pray that you have a wonderful week. It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Y'all be blessed and take care.